What's a monopoly mean? It means that instead of having many competitors, many companies competing with one another, instead what you have is simply only one, that's literally a monopoly, or a very small number. And the reason that's bad is if it's one or a very small number, they can manipulate the market. They can jack up the prices higher than what they would otherwise be because you've got nowhere else to go but that one or the few, because there aren't many. This is not rocket science, friends. What's the problem here? Here's the irony. Capitalism always proceeds to monopoly. Here's the logic. When you have many competitors, each one trying to beat the other one, some win and some lose. That's what competition means. And guess what happens? The winners get bigger and the losers go out of business. And when the losers go out of business, they lay off workers, they sell off their equipment. You know who hires those workers? And you know who buys that equipment? The winners. And slowly over time, what competition does is reduce the many to the few. So if you don't like monopoly, you got a problem. You don't like capitalism because that's what it is. It's the competition that produces the monopoly. And why is monopoly attractive? Because then businesses can get two kinds of profit. One, what they get off their workers, who they pay less than what those workers produce for the company. But now they have a second way to gain. They can jack the price up way beyond what it would otherwise be because the buying public, whoever they are, have no options. That's why companies want to become monopolies, because they make more money. It's built into the system. So an investigation to see whether it's happening for the umpteenth time is an investigation into the likelihood that tomorrow the sun will rise. Not really need an investigation. And here's an even more rich irony. No sooner do monopolies take over in an enterprise, in an industry like cigarettes or cars or machinery or whatever you name, then pretty soon they're making so much money that there's an incentive for other companies to come in with a new product to substitute because it's so profitable. So ironically, monopoly generates competition again as others want in on the enormous profits that monopolists make. In other words, capitalism displays, as it always has, the transition from competition to monopoly and the transition back. The only thing that makes this even more ludicrous is when the government investigates. That means the Department of Justice is going to hire and use a vast array of lawyers, accountants, economists like me to come in and push about why is this happening and it shouldn't happen. And the companies will have their irony, excess of lawyers and accountants to argue why they should and they might not, and it should take some time and they have to adjust. And you know who pays for the lawyers on both sides? You and me. The taxes we pay for the government lawyers. And the companies that are defending themselves, they'll jack up the price, which they're monopolists and they can do, to cover the cost of their lawyers. We get to pay the lawyers on both sides. And you know what ends up happening? One possibility, nothing, and just keep going. Second possibility, we break up the company into many small companies to resume competition, which we do, and that produces then again monopoly. This is crazy what we're doing. Our problem isn't monopoly or competition. Our problem is a system that displays the transition from one to the other, during which we are overcharged for the monopolized goods, overcharged for the legal shenanigans in which they argue with each other for the umpteenth time. How many times do you need to get ripped off before you recognize a ripoff?